In 1994, a 30-year-old hedge fund executive walked away from a six-figure salary on Wall Street to sell books on the internet. His friends thought it was risky. Some thought it was foolish. Today, that decision created one of the most powerful companies in human history. This is the story of how Amazon went from a small garage startup to becoming infrastructure for the modern world. Before Amazon, there was just an idea. Jeff Bezos was working at a prestigious New York hedge fund. His career was stable. His income was secure. His future looked predictable. Then he saw a statistic that changed everything. The internet was growing at 2,300% per year, not 23%, 2,300%. Most people ignored it. Bezos didn't. He became obsessed with one question: what kind of business could only exist on the internet? He made a list of possible products to sell online: music, clothing, electronic, software. But one category stood above the rest: books. Why? Because there were millions of book titles in existence. No physical bookstore could stock them all, but an online store, it could offer infinite selection. No shelves, no space limits, no geographic boundaries. So in 1994, Bezos packed his car and drove to Seattle. He set up shop in a small garage, and Amazon was born, not as a trillion-dollar empire, but as an online bookstore with a bold vision. In July 1995, Amazon made its very first sale. The book was titled Fluid Concepts and Creative Analogies. It wasn't famous, but to Bezos, it meant everything. A stranger had trusted the internet. Orders began trickling in. Then they accelerated. Soon, Amazon was shipping books across the United States and even internationally. But behind the scenes, there were no robots, no massive warehouses, no automation, just Bezos and a small team. They packed books on their hands and knees inside that garage. They couldn't even afford proper packing tables. Boxes were assembled on the floor. Tape, labels, trips to the post office, long days. Sore backs, exhaustion. Then someone made a simple suggestion: why don't we buy packing tables? It seemed small, but that small upgrade increased efficiency dramatically. It sped up shipping, reduced strain, improved workflow. Amazon wasn't built on one giant breakthrough. It was built on constant improvement, one small optimization at a time. By 1999, Amazon was growing fast. Revenue was climbing. The stock price was soaring. The internet felt unstoppable. But something dangerous was brewing. Tech startups with no profits were flooding the market. Speculation exploded. Then in 2000, the dot-com bubble burst. Companies collapsed overnight. Billions were wiped out. Amazon stock fell more than 90%. Analysts predicted bankruptcy. Headlines questioned whether online shopping was just a fad. Employees watched their stock options evaporate. Fear spread everywhere, but Bezos didn't panic. He understood something crucial. The internet wasn't the bubble. Speculation was. So instead of shrinking the company, he doubled down. Amazon expanded beyond books, electronics, toys, home goods. He reinvested heavily into warehouses and logistics. At a time when survival should have been the goal, Bezos was building for domination. And when weaker competitors collapsed, Amazon survived, leaner, stronger, more disciplined. The crash didn't destroy Amazon. It refined it. For years, Amazon had been fighting to prove itself. Then came the decision that changed everything. Amazon Prime. When Prime launched in 2005, critics thought it was reckless. Unlimited 2-day shipping for a flat annual fee. Shipping costs were expensive. Margins were thin. Many believed Amazon would lose billions, but Bezos understood psychology. If customers paid once, they would feel committed. And the more they ordered, the more they relied on Amazon. Prime wasn't about faster delivery. It was about loyalty. Shopping became effortless. Click order arrives in 2 days. Convenience turned into habit. Habit turned into dependency. Then came another massive move, Amazon Web Services. At first, it seemed unrelated to selling products. But AWS allowed businesses to rent cloud computing power instead of building their own servers. Startups, corporations, governments, they all began relying on Amazon's infrastructure. Then came the Kindle. Books went digital. Then Alexa Voice entered the home. Then streaming services. movies, television shows, original content. Amazon was no longer a bookstore. It wasn't just an e-commerce company. It had quietly become the backbone of the internet, e-commerce, cloud computing, entertainment, artificial intelligence. Amazon wasn't participating in the digital economy. It was powering it. Today, Amazon generates hundreds of billions in annual revenue. It employs over 1 million people worldwide. Its cloud division powers much of the internet, from a small garage in Seattle to a company influencing how the world shops, reads, watches, and builds technology. All because one man saw growth where others saw uncertainty. Amazon's rise teaches us powerful lessons. Think long-term. Even when others panic, reinvest aggressively in infrastructure. Obsess over customer experience. And most importantly, small improvements compound into massive results. Bezos once said, "Your margin is my opportunity." And that mindset turned a simple online bookstore into one of the most dominant forces in modern history, from packing books on the floor of a garage to building the infrastructure of the internet. That is the power of vision and the courage to act when others hesitate. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Amazon's rise, subscribe for more business success stories, because the next empire might be building quietly right now.